Hey, butterflies. It's your girl, Sharon K. Griffin, aka Madam Butterfly. I hope that you are doing well, that you're living your best life, that you are flapping your wings, that you are living outside of the cocoon, that you are flying high, and that you are remaining beautiful. Yes, all butterflies, in my opinion, are beautiful. So, anyway, I wanted to jump on a live real quick because Lil Nas X is trending regarding his video that just came out and also his sneaker line. And there's a lot of people who don't agree with what he's doing. Personally, I think it's genius what he's doing. But I also wanted to look at the back end of the story about what he's doing. And I don't know if you know, but Lil Nas X is part of the church culture or was part of the church culture. And he struggled with homosexuality. And people in church were just always telling him that he was going to hell. How many of us have heard that about us personally based on the choices that we were making? Or if you were just sitting in some churches, everything was fire and brimstone based, hell and judgment, right? And I'm not coming for the church, but I'm letting you know the back end of the story regarding him. So he finally came out and people were like really upset about it. So now I believe he's taken his power back. We might not like how Lil Nas X is taking his power back, but that's who he is. And that's how he's dealing with the criticism that he experienced in the church culture, whether we like it or not. And I read one article, and I really didn't want to dig deep into all the articles because I didn't want I didn't want to be swayed in any way regarding him, but I needed a little bit of the backstory. And I read one publication that talked about how, with the pentagram, with the upside down cross, and other symbols, the 666, how there's only 666 of these shoes being manufactured. And I feel like this: we give power to those symbols. Those symbols really don't have power without you thinking that it has power, if that makes sense. And I'm going to go back to me. When my children were younger and those skull shirts were out, I would never allow them to wear those because I thought in my psyche that it represented death. And now I wear skull shirts because there's no power in the shirt. It's just a skull, period. And I think we as people give so much power to what some people call the devil or that negative energy, as opposed to looking at the backstory of why. Why does he feel this way? Why is he, and I don't want to say attacking the church because he's not attacking the church, but he so geniusly released his song and his shoes during Holy Week. Personally, to me, it's genius. I don't care what you say, what you think, or what you feel. It was a great marketing strategy, and I'm sure it's going to sell out. But my position is Look at the heart of the matter. Look at the damage that people have caused him. Look at the my perceived pain that we've called him, where he feels like he has to lash out. I was talking to my girlfriend today, and I equated his situation with Toni Braxton when she said how she wished that she would have been able to um, date different gentlemen and have sex with different gentlemen at an earlier age, but because she was brought up in a Christian home, she wasn't really able to experience life because of the whole church culture. So the effect of that is she gets older and then she's living like she's younger. And we don't want to look at that part of that. But a lot of times people put their belief systems on us, where we're afraid to just live. To me, it's when you're young, when you should be making all the mistakes in life. But what I'm finding out as a life coach is that there are so many people who are older, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, because I have people in my little repertoire of people I know in that age bracket as well, who just don't know about life, who have not lived, who have lived in fear, and some of them are starting to break free, and people think, oh my God, this is, a little strange. It's really not strange. Imagine being in a bottle and you've been confined all these years and you just want to get out, but you don't know how to get out because of fear of what people are going to think, fear of what people are going to say. And then all of a sudden you get the courage to break free and you go buck wild. It's just like a child growing up in a home where they do nothing. Then they go to college and they do everything that you taught them not to do because they just wanted to experience a little bit of freedom. Hi, Sharon, and thanks, Lisa, for always tuning in. Oh, yes, agreed. The outrage and pearl clutching gave a lot of traction on social media. Yeah, Little Nas, he was genius with it. I have to say that. Um, and I'm not mad at him. You get it how you can, but again, I look at the heart. I look at why do people do the things that they do. When you look at the little girl who the people are talking about because she's so promiscuous and she's doing this and she's doing that, but why is she promiscuous? Do we ever ask her, like, baby girl, what's going on with you where you feel like you have to do these things? Do we ever get the opportunity to say, hey, let me mentor you, let me help you without judgment? So many of us, we would look at that child and we would criticize her and judge her, as opposed to taking her under our wing and mentoring her and grooming her and allowing her to be her. But the love that you give her will change her very life. It might be those little conversations. Because let me explain something to you. When people feel comfortable with you, they will share anything and everything with you. They will share their heart with you. And there's so many people that are damaged and so many people who are broken. On yesterday, I sat next to a young lady on a plane coming back from the Maryland area. And she was telling me about her friend who's in her 40s, right? But at the age of 5, the mother allowed her boyfriend to continuously rape this little girl. So this little girl now is a grown woman, and she has such a hard time with relationships. And then when she does get in them, she's like, she gravitates to the person and holds on to the person so tight that they become afraid, because it's kind of like a stalkerish behavior. Now, with this little girl, she's looking for love in all the wrong places, and she doesn't know how to receive love because she never got love. But no one ever took the time out to say, hey, you need some therapy. Hey, you need some help. In her teenage years, why does she act like this? Why is she so secluded? Whatever it is. We see things, but we don't take the opportunity to ask the hard questions. Why? So when I go back to Lil Nas, I'm just like, it is what it is, because I get it. I get it. And if we dig deep within ourselves, a lot of us, I'm sure you would get it too. You would say, hey, here's someone who was broken by something that was supposed to love him. And then he rebels against that entity. And basically what he's saying is, fuck you. Fuck you, fuck your God, whatever else. And I don't know his heart, so I can't really say he's saying fuck God. So let's just get that clear. But he's saying fuck you, because he might just be tired in his spirit. He might just be broken in his spirit. Or he might be fine and he just saying, fuck you. I don't give a fuck what you think about me. I'm coming out. This is who I am. Now what? But he's given the world something to talk about. I know this is a hard conversation because so many of us want to live in this beautiful glass house where everything in our house is perfect. But let me tell you, there's nothing that's perfect. Hey, Tiffany, how are you? How are you? Let's stop creating these monsters. Let's stop creating people who just get out there and they just fuck you to everybody and everything. And I can say that because I was her. I was her. You know, you get tired. You get tired of people dogging you out. You get tired of people saying what they feel is wrong with you as opposed to getting to know you. Let's start having conversations with people. How are you today? What's going on? And the more you communicate with people and the more you show love to people, believe me, people are going to share with you. People are going to encourage you. People are going to empower you. People are going to inspire you, and you will do the same to those people. Sometimes spirit will lead you to say certain things to that person that can change their whole life. Everything that they've been through in life can be wiped out just by the words that you say, if you take the opportunity to get to know someone as opposed to judging them. So when you look at Lil Nas and, you know, all these different people that you don't agree with, just say why. You know, why do they act like that? Try to get understanding. That's what I love. I love understanding. I love to see why people act the way they do, what makes them thrive, what makes them tick, what makes them laugh, what makes them smile. And those things help you to establish healthy relationships, not only just friendships, but healthy relationships as far as dating, as far as meeting the one. It's all about the conversation. It's all about the communication. It's all about the response of the communication. How am I responding to that person that tells me their heart story? Am I looking at them like they are crazy? Or am I saying, it's going to be okay? You got this. Let me help you to look at it in a different way. Let me empower you to take that thing that broke you, where you can turn your pain into passion. Let's do that. Yes, Tiffany, you are wonderfully well. And yes, I am too. And Lisa said, none of the people at my church prayed for him or showed compassion on social media. Wow. Yeah. Lisa, to me, it really doesn't surprise me that people aren't showing compassion, people aren't trying to get understanding, because they feel like he's attacking them personally. But don't take it personal. It's how he feels. How can we tell someone how to feel? How can we tell someone how to respond to life issues? How to respond to the hurt and the pain that they receive from the entity that was supposed to love them? That's the same thing with parents and children. Sometimes parents don't give the love that the child needs, how they need it. It might be the way that they love, but maybe the child needs love in a different way. And because that child doesn't get that, that child bucks up against that parent, and then it just becomes a bitter root. And there's a scripture, right? I think, and don't quote me, I think it's Hebrews 12 and 11. I'm not sure. And it talks about the bitter root expectation and how it springs up and defiles many. And when I used to preach, I used to really preach that scripture because I saw that bitter root springing up all the time, affecting everything around, right? It just didn't affect the person that was holding on to the bitterness, but every entity of their life, every person that was connected to them, it affected and infected. So you got to dig them roots up. You got to deal with those things that have hurt you, that could have destroyed you. You have to deal with those entities, because when it comes up and comes out at the wrong time, especially because they never come out at a perfect time. And when they come out, it's like, wow, I'm here, bam. And then you have a whole mess to clean up, the people around you. That's why I believe in therapy. That's why I believe in coaching. Let me tell you all, Jesus ain't going to fix everything. Jesus gave y'all some doctors, some mental health doctors, okay? Jesus gave you a heart doctor. If you got a heart condition, right, you're going to go to the heart doctor. If you got a foot condition, you're going to go to the podiatrist. If you have a mind condition, you go to the psychologist and or the psychiatrist, and you get that shit right. You learn how to process the stuff that's in you that you have not shared with other people. You deal with it, you let it come out, you look at it in the mirror, you cry, you talk, you might have to take some medication. I don't know, whatever it is, get your healing so you can live your best life. There's so many people in bondage in their mind because of life situations that have happened to them that they have never dealt with. Even old people, 70s, 80s, haven't dealt with life situations and are carrying that hurt and that pain. Can you imagine carrying that all your life and then you die? and then God forbid it ain't no streets paved with gold, then you're really disappointed in your spirit. No chariots in the sky. Then what? You done wasted a whole life, and then you did. Come on now. We got to do better. We have to do better for ourselves, but we also have to do better with each other. Stop being so judgmental of people. If you feel like you're not vibing with someone, because everyone doesn't vibe together, right? If you're not vibing with someone, just back up and back out. It's okay. All of us aren't going to be all kiki with each other. But if you're going to mess with somebody and be their friend, then get to know that entity. Don't judge it, learn it. Learn what makes them thrive, tick, smile, hurt, all of that. But once you learn all that stuff, don't use it against them. One thing that I'm big on is loyalty. In friendship, loyalty. If I trust you and for whatever reason you break that trust or you do something that really offends me, baby, I don't even have to communicate about why I cut you off, because I feel like this grown folk know. I don't have to tell a grown folk what you did to me. You know. So now you're dismissed out of my life. And when I'm going, trust me, you're going to feel the effects of all of this, because I'm good to people I love. So again, if you're going to be in a relationship with someone, whether it's a friendship or whether it's, a romantic relationship, get to know the person. Don't be so quick to judge them. Just listen sometimes. Sometimes people just want you to listen and not respond. They need to get that stuff out. And if that stuff is too much for you to handle, then you suggest, hey, maybe you should seek therapy. Maybe you should seek counseling. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to step on some toes. I know y'all want to go to the preacher for counseling, but no, go to a professional. Okay, a professional, yes, they might have their own issues, but they have been trained on how to deal with people and their situations. You don't need the Bible for everything, okay? For the Christian people listening, you don't need the Bible for everything. Sometimes you need somebody to help you pull up those roots, and it ain't the pastor, okay? I don't care if you don't like it. It says Sharon K. Griffin Unfiltered. This is my platform, and I'm going to say what the hell I want to say, whether you like it or not. It is what it is. But if you apply what I'm telling you, believe me, you will begin to experience your best life. Stop waiting on Jesus to come by your bedside and perform this soul miracle where you're healed forever. Go get some therapy. Go get some help. If you believe Jesus can heal you, fine. I get it. I get it. And I'm not saying that you can't be healed miraculously. I am not saying that at all. But some people need some real help. Some people need to walk through the process over time, because sometimes you can't pull up the whole root at one time, because you might not survive mentally. So it's a process, and you walk through the process. So Sylvia says, good evening to everyone. Thank you. My daughter's full name is Caroline Sue Sanong. She is currently 47 years old. My grandson's full name is Mu Demetrius. Okay, he is currently 23-year-old. He is severely autistic, and he cannot talk at all. And he is not independent at all. So Sylvia, I don't know if you saying that is so that you can be prayed for, or, we can talk to God on your behalf for your son's healing. Um, but if that's the case, not a problem. I got you. Um, so anyway, y'all, healing is for all of us. Okay? Healing is for all of us. I'm glad that I went through my process of healing after my 16-year marriage. I am. I'm glad that my therapist, I had a white male. Oh, thank you, Sylvia. I really appreciate that. God bless you and your family as well. Oh, and thank you for chiming in from New Zealand. When I went to my therapist, which was a white male, the first one, what he said to me is, you're a ticking time bomb, and I don't know where to walk with you because you might explode. And let me tell you, he was absolutely right. I was a ticking time bomb, and I wasn't taking nobody's shit no more. Period. And people who were around me, God had blessed me with these two young ladies, a Mexican young lady and a Persian young lady. And I tell you, I partied from Thursday to Sunday with those young ladies. That was part of my healing process, along with my therapy. What I did, and I'm not saying you do this, but this worked for me. I danced my pain away. Like Solange sang, she sang that song, I danced it away, or whatever it is, I drank it away. I danced mine away with therapy. And I tell you, I became so close to God in that season because I start seeing God in a different way. And this might be contrary to what your teaching is and what your belief system is or whatever. I don't care. I'm talking about me. And in that season, it was just really me and God. Yes, I had my girlfriends, but that's when I really began to talk to God and really understand the love of God. And that's when my relationship, not based on other people, that's when my relationship with God became so sure that it didn't matter if people agreed with my lifestyle or not. I had nothing else to give to anyone else. I didn't owe anyone else. I owed it all to me. And I was going to give it all to me. And I did. And I tell you, you know how in the Bible it says you know them by their fruit? If you look at my fruit, it's good fruit, you know. And God really blesses me. And I think that you might not agree with this, that everything is a heart condition. And it's not the outward things that we do, it's the heart of the matter. What is that connection with spirit? How are you honoring God, right? Not the things that you do, but how are you honoring God? What's in here? You know, I might not know your heart, but God knows your heart. And that's what I love about God. You know, some people look at me and be like, she don't love God. Look at her. You know, that's your problem. That's not my problem. It's the other, it's the individuals that are judging. You know, there's a story that was told to me by a preacher a long time ago. And the story was, it was this prostitute in church, right? And it was this evangelist in church. And God came down and he said, one of you are going to heaven, you know, and the evangelist, oh, thank you, God, and all that stuff. But guess who went to heaven? The prostitute. The prostitute went to heaven because her heart was right. It's not the outer works. It's about that thing in here. So when you look at Lil Nas, right, and you don't like what you're seeing, um, pray for him. Pray for him. But don't use your soulish prayers. Just say, okay, God, that's who he is. Touch him. Let him live his best life. Because if God wants him to change, God will change him. God can always change any of us. I look at me, God changed me. Because 8 years ago, well, I think about 10 now, I was so bitter and broken and mean and nasty. But now I could talk to preachers. Before I couldn't even talk to preachers. I hated preachers. But now I'm open to everybody. I've learned that my issues aren't their issues. Everyone isn't the same. I don't judge everyone the same, even though a lot of people do the same things. I judge you individually based on who you are and how you treat me. Lisa said, that's why people are running from the church. Lisa, you are absolutely right. I think I did a live and I said 31 million people have left the church. And this is why. But you also have to understand that broken people break people. So a lot of people who are teaching you and preaching to you are broken themselves. And that energy transfers. Energy doesn't die. Energy transfers. If I could change anything, I think I would want people just to live their authentic life, just to operate in their freedom and be who they are, not caring what other people think, say, or feel. And that way, everyone is open and honest with each other. However, I know there's a lot of fear when it comes to living authentic. I don't know if you know me. My favorite hashtag is hashtag IDGAF. Hashtag IDGAF. I don't give a fuck. Period. I don't. I'm going to love me. And that's all that matters. You don't have to love me. I love me. You know, you don't have to agree with me. I love me. You don't have to like me. I love me. I like me. You know, and because I like and love me, it doesn't matter what other people think or feel about me. So as you prepare to lay down tonight or whatever, just worry about you. Look in your own mirror. If you decide that you want to pray for Lil Nas X, not your soulish prayer, just, okay, God bless them. That's all you need, bless them. Those words can go so much farther than Lord change his heart and get rid of them 666 sneakers. That's just stuff. We give power to that number 666. We give power to upside down cross. We give power to a hexagon. That shit don't mean nothing. It's all in your mind. You give it power. You give it power. And actually, I want you to look up the spiritual meaning of the number 666. The spiritual meaning of number 666. Because I looked it up before. I was just curious. Because I'm big on numbers. Spiritual meaning of The spiritual meaning of 666. And there's one website that I really like. It's not coming up for whatever reason. Um, angel number 666. Okay, but that's not what I want, but that's what they call an angel number. So look up spiritual meaning of 666 and see what it means based on what others are saying. Because a lot of times we've been taught that 666 represents the devil and all that stuff. Look it up for yourself, okay, and see what it means, and you get some understanding. Stop believing what everyone says. So yeah, again, we give power to those entities that we've been taught that's wrong. But I love you guys. I thank you for chiming in. I know it's late. It's late here. It's 11 o'clock. And I don't want to take your time, but I definitely wanted to come on here and just give my thoughts on Lil Nas X, because to me, he's just a person that wants to be heard right now. And we are hearing him. And I think he's a phenomenal artist. I think he was genius. I don't know if he has a team behind him. I think he was genius for releasing his sneaker brand and his video. I actually watched the video. I thought it was very well and creatively done. I'm not reading more into it. I know what it's supposed to represent. I just looked at it from a creative. I don't know his heart. I don't know him. Bless the brother and bless him real good, God. That's all I got to say about him. But thank you for tuning in. Um, I think God is amazing. I love God. I love how God connects the universe, where the universe works or moves on our behalf. I know a lot of you Christian folk don't like when I use the word universe, but that's your issue. That's not mine, because I'm going to use it. I'm going to use spirit. I'm going to use God all interchangeably. And it is what it is. But I just so appreciate God and how he allows the universe to operate or to move on our behalf, connecting things and doing things so strategically, just for us. You know, I think that's powerful. I ask you to open your spirit to receive whatever God has for you, because whatever God has for you personally is so much better than what we could have for ourselves. So thank you for chiming in on this evening. You guys have been phenomenal. And God is good. Be blessed, y'all. I will talk to y'all Friday. I know I'm supposed to do an interview Friday. I don't know with who yet. So hopefully we'll have somebody good. But as you see, I changed it from one-on-one with Sharon K. Griffin and did unfiltered, because I'm not going to filter myself to make other people feel comfortable. I hope you like it, but if you don't, hasta la vista, baby. Talk to you guys later. Love you.